Welcome back, Jeannie Lynch, to my channel. Really excited you're here today. Continuing the beautiful work of teaching you different modalities, teaching you intuition, helping you be the best expression of yourself. And I got to tell you, I'm really shocked that today's topic has taken me 15 years to talk about on my channel, because it truly was the modality I started with. So today we're going to be diving into tools of divinity. What does that mean? Have you ever heard of runes, oracle cards? These are just some of the tools out there that you can use and access for yourself, for guidance for yourself, or for others. We're going to be peeling back and looking at using these divination tools for yourself, the how-tos, and maybe even some things you shouldn't be doing when you're accessing this information. Robynn Sheridan's coming in today. She's going to do a beautiful interview with me, and she's going to share her journey of how she became a healer and became a reader. We're going to learn that today. And she's also going to dive a little bit deeper into the Akashic records, which I've talked about before. We're going to talk about it again. I love talking about the Akashic records. And if you don't remember, it is the library of our souls, right? It is access for us to help us maybe look back, be more present, but also move forward. So, have you ever heard of the Archangel Metatron? What would you do if I told you today that he is considered to be the librarian for the Akashic records? Well, Robynn's going to dive into and explain that to us today in this interview. So stay listening. We're going to be diving into tools of divination. And if you've never used a tool, you have no idea, or you even think it's taboo, guess what? Stay watching. This beautiful interview is for you. And that's all coming up next. Robynn, yay! Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And I already did a beautiful intro, so everybody kind of knows a little bit about you. But as you know from connecting and talking offline, our intention today is to continue the beautiful series of spiritual modalities for a spiritual life. I love this playlist. My intention is truly to bring as many modalities as I can to my channel and the people who follow us in both of our channels, to as many people, to teach them about these modalities that helped us heal, because we're healers, right? And we're here to help other people. So whether people are listening to this on the Intuitive Mindset podcast on our podcast stations or following this on our YouTube channels, we truly do appreciate the audience. So a nice little beautiful layup to you. Robynn, my intention is for my audience to get to know you and hopefully work with you, because you have a beautiful modality of oracle cards. I know you do Akashic records. You're a Reiki master.
Yes.
Okay. So my people know a lot about Reiki. They know a lot about the Akashic records. I'm really interested in focusing on cards. It's the first time I focused on cards on my channel. So let's dive right into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you want our audience to know about you before we get going?
Oh, thank you so much, Jeannie. I'm really glad I'm here. I am a holistic healer. And of course, that always starts when we find ourselves completely broken. And we really want to fix what's broken inside. So when I first started on this path of oracle reading, Akashic reading, it started with a friend of mine introducing me to Wicca. I had, walked away from religion. You get mad, you just get to the point. Yeah, I've had enough. I'm tired of being told what to do and how to do it. I want to find my individuality. Yeah. So Wicca was a lot of fun, but I'm not a ritual person. And so rituals just did not resonate with me. But one thing that really resonated with me were the tarot cards, oracle cards. And I picked up this beautiful deck of Celtic oracle cards that I started using, and I guess I should call them tarot cards, but just started using them and really getting information for myself and everything else.
I have to know. So go back to, somebody handed you your first deck. Were you doing it for yourself first in your own divination, or were you already immediately started working with other people?
No, this was just for me. And in fact, I used to just do my own reading, or I would do my, friends or family. Once I started trying to build a business around here, then after a client would come for a Reiki session, then yes, we would pull a card for them just to see how things were going.
Got it. So you started first when you started your business, was it through Reiki first, and then you started introducing kind of the intuitive readings on the side, or did you incorporate both of them?
Actually, it started with spiritual restructuring. I took a spiritual restructuring course in which would enable me to use that to work on clients. And then the Reiki came in with that.
Go back to Wiccan. Go back to the definition of Wiccan, and then when you finish that, I would love to hear what spiritual restructuring is. Those are two words I'm not so sure what they are, and I want my audience to know. So can you break those out for us?
Sure. Wicca was the original pagan religion. It was when we were way back where we would always say blessings when we put the seeds in the ground. And we always had different seasons, and every season had a ceremony that we were supposed to do to bring in the ceremony and say thank you. And we worked with gods and goddesses, and we worked with nature.
Okay.
And it was just getting back to the roots before Christianity took over and said only the head honcho of the church could talk to God. You couldn't. You had to go to the priest and tell the priest what you wanted, and he did the prayer for you. Well, in Wicca, we always did the prayers for ourselves. We always talked directly to the gods and goddesses.
Got it. Okay, that's clarity. Thank you so much. Okay,
You're welcome.
I love that. Okay, so now that makes total sense to me too. So how they all kind of came to you too, and how you ended up working with one and then to the other. So what is the other word that you use? Spiritual
restructuring.
What is that?
It is where basically it was an introduction into the Akashic records for me. But it was a way to use charts and pendulums to figure out what was going on with the client. And you would ask a specific question, and it would take you into a part in a chart that would tell you where they were holding negative energy, where they were holding these patterns, what these patterns represented, and where they came in the family dynamics.
Got it. So dowsing.
Dowsing. Yes.
Okay.
Dowsing.
Okay, good. So my audience is getting to know a whole bunch of modalities today. I just love that. So I'm kind of moving on with my questions too, so we can follow this through and we get as much information from you as we can. I was going to ask the question, how did you get involved in this? You just answered that. So let's go to the history of tarot and the history of oracle. And when did one become the other? And was it, I used to read tarot. I'm not sure if I gave you a lot of information. I started with tarot and doing readings with tarot. One day I just put the deck down and I thought, I think they were kind of my security.
Yeah.
And because the cards said, and then people didn't have to look at me. They looked at the cards, and my own issues. Put the cards down, and I love my deck. I pulled them out recently and did a session with somebody, and I was on fire and I was connected. So I love tarot. So you're talking to a big fan and totally believe in it. Tell us a little of the history of, the backdrop, then how you got involved in it and how you use it today.
Okay. Well, divination has been around since the beginning of time. They used to use bones, and then they used stones with carvings in them. And then once we start getting the written word, then people started creating decks. So in the decks, it became every card represented something. And it used to be, what I believe is that it used to be like face cards, playing cards. Yeah. And they would figure out, but the fact is the deck is just an intuitive gift. And when you use the decks, you not only do you get the information from the book or what the deck says, but you can also get intuitive hits from spirit when you're working with people. So they're a tool, another tool to be able to have somebody across from you, and you pull the cards, and it gets them talking. It gets them thinking about what's going on in their life. And as you're talking, as they're talking, all of a sudden you have these epiphanies, these aha moments. And that's what I love about it.
So they come to you. Do they have to be in front of you? Because I know, picking cards, and can you do this over the internet with COVID-19?
Oh, absolutely. I actually do live oracle readings every morning on my Facebook. Yeah,
So
it's fun.
people from my group and who are watching this, can
Yeah.
anyone belong to your group?
Yes. Well, what it is that I do a free live every morning. And how I do it is I do my meditation. I talk to my spirit guides. I talk to the angels. Then I pull specific cards to share with people. This is my message. These are the things. And then you have an opportunity during the live in the comments to ask for a card. Most of the time, I intuitively pick which deck that I'm going to pull a card from. But you can specifically ask for a specific deck, and I have a lot.
Let's keep moving so we can learn more about you. A deeper understanding of, I know we've talked about the Akashic records. I know that's something that you really love doing. So let's open up the door. My group typically knows, they've heard of the Akashic records, this place, the library of our souls. Could you open up the door for your practice on what you do with the Akashic records? I would love to hear more about that.
Yes, thank you. I do not do the Akashic records like oracle readings.
Okay.
And I know there are people who do that, but I do not. Are a deep dive into what specifically is going on in your life right now.
Got it.
So I go into the records. I have specific questions I ask. And based on those questions, then I put it all in a format, like a report for you. I need very little information from you. And so I get the little bit of information I need from you. And then I do this on my own. You're not present.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you're not present. It takes me up to about 5 hours.
Oh, Robyn, you got to stop and explain that more. So let's play this out so my audience knows what to expect. Let's say today you and I are talking for the first time, and I'm coming to you because I've got some old issues regarding, as you mentioned in your bio, I seem to be attracting narcissistic people in my, okay, and I want to deal with that. So I'm coming to you specifically. Tell me what you would tell me on the phone. I want a session with you. What would you say so I can learn?
All right. So what I do is I take your name, your birth date, and the place that you were born. That's all the information I need from you.
Got it.
Then I access the records through a specific process that I learned to get into the records, but I also work with Archangel Metatron. Now, Archangel Metatron, he's the librarian. He's the head honcho. He's the boss. So
I'm keeping up with you. And again, you say you access the records the way you were taught. Is it the Linda Howell, this is how you access the records the one way in, or is it your own way that you've learned on your own?
Well, how I was taught was to visualize going up to an elevator.
Got it.
And then you open the elevator door, you tell the elevator where you want to go, the door is closed, you go up, the door is open, and you're in the Akashic records. That's how I do it.
Got it. And one more question about that too. Yeah. And I'm so intrigued by your process for doing this, especially because do you know about my issue, or do you only know my birth date, where I was born, and so help me understand that. How do you know where to go in the library?
Because I work with Archangel Metatron. But here's the deal. I really don't need, I do send you a little questionnaire. And in that questionnaire, you can say, I want to know about my career. I want to know about my relationship. I want to know about these things. So that gives us a general direction to go. But I just find that I didn't used to give people those options. All I used to do was just get their main information, and their soul tells me what they need to know.
I just got to connect with you. Am I connecting too much? Because I love what you do, okay?
Yeah.
I do the same thing. If someone's coming to work with me, I'm like, don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
It's like it almost messes it up. And then you got to do
Yeah.
the filtering, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that you do that. That lines up with me beautifully, and the people that seek counsel too, because you know you're getting what they need. And you know, a lot of times people come, they think it's one thing, but you end up finding out it's another. What are you trying to right now do more of if you had it in the best way?
I absolutely love the Akashic Soul Readings because it gives you so much information. Like when I give you your report, it can be 5 pages long.
Okay.
It's really in depth, and you get these really beautiful aha moments. Now, and that's if you want to do a deep dive and you want to change your life.
Got it.
So that, however, if you just you just met some guy and you want to know whether you should go out on a second date or not, oracle cards and tarot are perfect for that. They're fun, they're enlightening. We can give you lots of information that way. But if you want to change your life and you want to really heal at a karmic level and get rid of all the karma that's affecting you in this lifetime, the Akashic Soul Readings do that.
Got it. So that's the 5-hour one. Okay, so good. We're following this process through. You've taken my number. You know what my issue is. You've gone to Metatron. You're in the library. You access the records. You spent hours getting all this information. You type it all up. Do you call me back and we do a session over the phone, and that's where you give it to me? Because we all know translation can happen.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I give you everything verbally like this. We have this conversation. You also get the document. You get follow-up calls. You can contact me whenever you need to. I'm pretty liberal about that. And it's fun because sometimes when you do your Akashic readings and then you have this information, because I'm teaching you about your negative patterns and why you're repeating them in this lifetime. And it's nice to call when you're having an issue, and then I can go, we have this conversation where you eventually realize, oh, you're still getting trapped into a negative pattern.
Got it.
Because you need that conversation. One of the most important things I learned is that to be healed, our healing needs to be witnessed.
By ourselves or by us?
No, by somebody else. They need to be witnessed. For us to, and I'll tell you, I can understand this. When I heard that, it was like, oh my God, because I can do so much work on my own, but then I would hit a brick wall, or I would just find I couldn't get past a certain point.
I love this. And I'm having a connection too to the work of hypnosis years ago.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, so I went through, I was gone. I was raising my arm left, right, didn't know what I was saying, yes, agreeing or not. It was 3 days after the hypnosis where I got the download. So when you're talking about witnessing it, I had the epiphany on my back deck 3 days after the healing going, oh, that's what that was.
Yes.
So that's the witnessing you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important for somebody else to be there to help you with the process, because we can only do a certain percentage of our own. But when we need to get past that hurdle, when we need that aha moment, that epiphany, that's when we need somebody else to come in and help us. It's like taking a puzzle, right? And you've got 5 pieces left and you cannot get them to fit.
Got it. We say, there's a beautiful saying my mentor taught me, and you're going to line up with it. Once you learn the lesson, it's yours, which means if you've come here to learn this, let's say it's a past life and you're repeating it time and time and time again. And in this life, you said, I'm going to take the PhD course in that, forgiveness, whatever it is, that when you really understand all aspects of it and forgive yourself, forgive others, and you master it, it's not like the lesson stays on you. And I'm sure that's where a lot of accessing the records does, right? You get to look at that and bring that light to people to help them heal that.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So we want to follow you. We're going to follow you. You have a website and it's all your name, right?
Yes. Okay. Everything's under Robynn Sheridan. It's robynsheridan.com, Robynn Sheridan on Instagram, Robynn Sheridan on podcast, Robynn Sheridan on YouTube. Yes.
Perfect. I will put all your links on all of our descriptions so people can just click on and follow you too. So when you knew I was going to talk to you today and you had this opportunity to connect and share our channels together, and you were hoping, oh, Jean seems like a good fit, and I'm hoping that we get to this because this is the part of my business or my healing that I want to share more with others. Have I missed anything, or is there something that I want to make sure gets said?
Um, One of the differences in my Akashic Soul readings is I give you the tools to work with.
Okay,
So when on an Akashic Soul reading, you get the information, right? But on an Akashic Soul reading, you get tools that you follow. You get a script that you have to do, positive affirmations, you have homework. Because to change a negative pattern takes 21 days. So I give you homework to do for 21 days so that you can recognize the pattern and stop from repeating it.
Now, I have a name for these people, and there's nothing negative here, okay? Because it's only positive on both of our channels. When somebody comes with the same question over and over and over again, but doesn't do the work, doesn't do the homework,
Right.
I have a name for them. They're called assholes.
Yeah.
What do you do when you feel like, and then we know people can get addicted, right?
Yes.
Addicted to divination. I can't make until I talk to my healer, until I pull a card, until I look at my charts, right? It sounds, Robyn, like your work is really about giving the tools so that they don't need you. And I mean that in a positive way,
Yes.
right? So is that the kind of tools you're talking about?
I'm talking about tools that make you take responsibility. And if you don't do the homework, you're not going to take the responsibility and you're not going to change your patterns. And yes, I do have people who contact me, but I'm pretty strict. And they eventually stop calling me because I call them on their crap.
Did you hear that, everybody?
And they eventually stop calling me because I call them on their crap.
I love that. Don't change that. That is phenomenal. That's our responsibility too.
Yes,
is to say that and call them on that. So I love that. Thank you. That's great information for people to hear too. Okay. So we know how we're going to connect with you. We know we can follow you. We're going to get free oracle readings on your Facebook page. I'm really excited about that. I feel like that is a really good sample. The only thing we didn't get to that you do is the Reiki, and my group knows all about Reiki. We do Reiki shares. Where are you located? I don't know that. Where are you?
I'm in Picture Butte, Alberta, Canada.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's just 20 minutes out of Lethbridge, which is kind of like the southern part of Alberta.
Well, I'm going to do one more thing to you that you don't know. I didn't have this on our notes today before we move into our rapid fire. Because of where we are in the world right now, and because you're an empath, and because you're a healer, and because you know what's going on in the world, and because you obviously have feelings about that, can you share some light with our audiences? What would be your divine message today about where we are in the coronavirus? And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I know you know what you would love to say and share with others.
Sure. We have to change. The coronavirus is here to make us change our emotions, how we think, how we behave, how we treat other people. The coronavirus is here to make us become self-reliant, to think for ourselves, and to come from the heart chakra. Because if we don't change how we participate in this world, we're always going to be victims. And victimization has to change. We need to balance the masculine and the feminine. And I'm going to tell you right now, coronavirus it's what spirit is using as a catalyst to get us to change.
That is absolutely perfect. And I will just add more energy to that because it's an opportunity for us both to give a blessing out to our channel. And that is at a time where we should be unified because of where we are, and witnessing the division isn't fixing anything.
No.
And not fix hatred with hatred, right? No. The Buddhist teaching. So we meaning Robyn and I are here to ask everybody who's watching this, because if you're watching this, you're part of the shift, okay? please see this as a call to action to bring more unity, more love out into the world, and say thank you for this change, because we've asked for it and we need it, and it's time. Do you agree?
It's really a gift. Please be aware of the fact that this is a gift. And I also want to say, if it's okay,
Yes.
I understand we are losing many people. We have so many people who are grieving right now. But understand that they chose to go on the other side to help us on this side. They chose to pass over. We chose to stay here as light workers. They chose to go to the other side to support us. So yes, grieve, cry, but no, it was a choice, and they made it a long time ago.
I love that. And I will say too, I heard on a Dolores Cannon, she was doing her work, and I love her. She was talking about this is the most attractive time as a soul to come in. So whether people are coming in and leaving quickly, that the people who are showing up, and you two, we're two of them, right? With the millions out there, that we chose this time because it was like no other time, that change was happening. And I feel empowered by that instead of defeated. So I love that.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to be here, to be a part of this.
I think, boy, if I could cut that little video and put that up on a meme, that people need to hear that beautiful message. So thank the audience for listening and staying watching. Okay, we're going to move in to my favorite part of doing these beautiful interviews and making a new friend, which is my rapid fire. Are you ready?
You bet.
Okay, the music's keyed up. We're ready to go. What is your favorite movie? Avatar, you heard it here. What is, if you were going to change the world, I think you already said this, but you can only use one word now. If you were going to change the world, what does the world need in order to be changed?
No more greed.
Greed, I love that. Your pet peeve?
Liars.
Because you speak your truth, I know that. And then your personal quality about yourself that you absolutely love?
My compassion.
From an empath, right? I love that. And the last question before I say thank you for your time today is, what are you doing, Robynn, when you're experiencing pure joy?
Sharing my spiritual message like I am here and working with clients, raising their spiritual vibration.
We've accomplished that today. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate your time. So whether people are following this on the Intuitive Mindset podcast and our channels on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this, Robynn and I want to say thank you. We appreciate you, your time, and your evolving into the beautiful spirit that you are.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robynn. Seems awkward. Okay, I'm going to stop. That was phenomenal.
Oh, good. That was fun. Thank you.
It flew. I'm hitting the